Hey everybody, it's me as always, your host Gambit896, and I'm back once again behind the camera. Today I'm going to be reviewing two single issues for you guys. There will be the Shadow Strikes issue number 2 and issue number 4. Now, the Shadow Strikes series is published by DC Comics and ran from the late 80s, specifically 1989, until the very early 90s. This second issue, along with a bunch of others, was sent to me by my good friend and fellow YouTuber, Gary Onesie Angelique, who, if you haven't checked out, I highly recommend you check out his channel, as he's a great guy, a great friend, and an absolute gentleman. Now, this second issue of The Shadow Strikes is written by Gerard Jones and illustrated by Eduardo Barreto. And as you can see, the cover is also done by Eduardo Barreto. On the colouring, we have Anthony Tollin, and on the lettering, we have David Cody Weiss. So the story starts out, and we have our first meeting between the Shadow and one of his soon-to-be agents, Harry Vincent. As was told in the pulp novels done by Walter B. Gibson, or his pseudonym was Maxwell Grant, the Shadow basically saves Harry Vincent from committing suicide this time around, after he received news that the woman that he was supposed to marry, unfortunately for Harry, married another man, as unfortunately when the stock market crashed, Harry found himself out of a job and out of work. So the Shadow decides to recruit Harry Vincent into his as one of his agents, and he demands that Vincent be completely loyal to him and obey his orders without question. So then we have Harry basically coming into his own, and then realizing that the people that have sort of beaten down on him and are about to throw him into the river, he gets one up on the guys, and he starts to basically give them a taste of their own medicine before kicking the final guy into the river. We're also introduced to another of the Shadow's agents later on, and here you can see, if I zoom in a little bit, you can see a really cool shot of the Shadow. Now, the story in this particular issue, and also issue 4, follows the Shadow as he is on the trail of a woman known as as Anastasia. And here you can see on this page we get introduced to another of the Shadow's agents, the lovely Margot Lane. If you'll excuse the moving of the issue, guys, I just don't want to. I want to show you a bit more of the artwork and a bit less of the advertisements. Although it's kind of cool that this advertisement is done for Denny O'Neil and Hannigan's Legends of the Dark Knight, the Shaman, which I believe was one of the first Batman stories that Denny O'Neil actually wrote. After the Ra's al Ghul issues in Detective Comics, I believe. Anyway, so there's an overarching subplot in this about there's a lot of intrigue surrounding the surrounding a peace mission between the United States and the USSR, or the Russian Soviet Union. But unfortunately, there's a mysterious individual who is trying to essentially stop the deal from happening and to disrupt the peace between Russia and the USSR. As this is set against the backdrop time period of 1935. And we find out some history about the Shadow, or Kent Allard, as he, as many diehard Shadow fans will know, was a World War I pilot who then later became a spy, and it's revealed that Allard actually spent some time in Russia during the First World War. And we also get introduced to another of his agents, as we can see here, and that is Mo Shrevnitz, or Shrevey, who is the Shadow's, or Lamont Cranston's chauffeur, if you will. Now, for those of you who are a little bit confused, Ken Allard is the real identity of the Shadow, but he's also adopted another persona as the wealthy playboy Lamont Cranston. Now, after a brief chase scene, we find out that Margot has been captured by this mysterious individual known as Brother Gregor, and we find out on the final page who exactly Brother Gregor actually is. And here's a great scene between Margot and the Shadow as he tries to deduce the events which led up to the capture of Margot by this mysterious Brother Gregor. And so he uses the fire opal, or the Durasol, which is the ring that has often been there's been some debate as to whether it's either mystical or has hypnotic abilities, but we find out from the Shadow using the fire opal on Margot, we find that through Margot's memories we're able to deduce who Brother Gregor actually is. And I won't tell you who the mysterious benefactor actually is. You'll just have to pick up the issue and read it for yourselves. So we then move on to issue number 4. Now there is a issue number 3 which I believe is called Ghosts, and I don't have that issue unfortunately, but I will hopefully pick it up at some point. And so with issue number 4, I will quickly say I was able to follow the story well enough, despite missing an issue of, I'm assuming, a 3-part story. But we get introduced to the characters of Police Commissioner Weston and also Inspector Joseph Cardona, who also appeared in the pulp novels which were written by Walter B. Gibson, aka Maxwell Grant. Again, there's a lot of intrigue in this issue as well, also surrounding the death of the Tsar of the USSR, and there's a great line from one of the mysterious villain's henchmen where he says, doesn't the Shadow deal out your own sense of personal justice? But then the Shadow retorts by saying, I never care over personal vengeance, which I thought was a great line on the part of Gerard Jones to give the Shadow. We also have there's a great fight scene between Brother Gregor and the Shadow, who we find out is a character that, or the real identity is a character that the Shadow is tangled with on a fair few occasions. And there's a really great fisticuff action scene between this mysterious Brother Gregor and the Shadow, which ultimately the Shadow does win the battle against this mysterious figure. And towards the end of the 4th issue, we find out who the mysterious mastermind is behind this entire plot to do with the Russians, and the US, and also a vengeance plot as well. I have to say that Gerard Jones really writes a really interesting and compelling story, and at the same time also has a great voice for each of the characters that show up in these early issues, particularly the Shadow, but also the various different agents of the Shadow that we get introduced to in these issues. If I had to give, also the artwork done by Eduardo Barreto is really good, and also the colouring done by Anthony Tollin is also really good as well. If I had to give both of these issues a score out of 5, I'd give them a 4.5 out of 5 each. As I said at the start of this video, if you haven't checked out Gary Onesie Angelique, I highly recommend you check out his channel. I'll leave a link below in the description. Sorry about the finger pointing, it's just I'm behind the camera, so I need to sort of gauge where my hands are pointing. I'll also leave a link to the Shadow Knows the Master of Darkness Facebook page, which is a Facebook group of comprised of Shadow fans, and also the Pulp Heroes Facebook group as well, which is also another pulp related Facebook group where all fans of everything pulp gather to discuss and talk about anything related to the pulp era. So that about concludes this single issue review video, guys. I'll just show you both of the covers again if I can, and try and get them both in frame. So here we have issue number 4, and there we have issue number 2. If I just zoom out a little, there we can see the both of the covers there, which are both done by Eduardo Barreto, which are really good. Thank you everybody as always for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Didn't like it, thumbs it down. But as I always say, if you thumbs down the video, feel free to tell me why in the comment section below, or send me a private message. If you're new to my channel and you'd like to see more of my videos, please feel free to subscribe. And until next time, this is Gambit896 signing off, and I'll see you guys next time.